back down here at Fraser Park, round 3 of the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters. Well, I'm getting belted from abuse from behind. Glad to see you all here, folks. There's still heaps of people coming in. An international cast, and we'd like you to make the 2 Americans welcome, Dallas, Dennis, Hawthorne, and Fast Eddie Warren. Dan, welcome to Australia, and welcome to Canberra.
Thanks, it's nice to be here. You guys have a nice country.
Mate, they sound as though they really love you out here.
I can imagine.
Mate, what do you think of the track? You had a bit of a go in practice. You saw our guys riding. How does it compare with back home?
Well, the competition will be tough. The guys did a good job building the track, and the weather's real nice here, and I'm sure you're in for some good racing this evening.
Looking forward to a big one on the Kawasaki. It's working all right?
Yeah, the Goldberg Kawasaki is working real good. Happy to be riding for him.
What about this guy next? He's going to be hard to beat?
Yeah, Eddie's tough. He's tough in the States, and I'm sure he'll give you guys riders a good run.
Okay, all the best, Dennis. We'll grab Eddie over here. Come over, fast man. You've been going all right. You're now living in Sydney, which you have been for the last few years, and I don't have to welcome you anywhere, but it's glad to see you back down here in Canberra anyways.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Andrew. We've got some really good weather this year. Last couple of years it's been a bit dodgy, but I think it's going to turn out to be a good night. A lot of people coming through the gates. I think we're going to have a really good crowd, and we plan on putting a good show.
How's the Cowie going? You happy with that? Dennis seems quite happy.
Yeah, my bike's running real well. I've been working hard on it and doing a lot of riding and training. I'm trying to get fit for the races. It's a 20-lap final, so you know it is pretty strenuous and it puts everybody to physical test. But I'm feeling very confident. But it's a long night and a lot can happen, so we'll just see what goes.
Now you mentioned getting fit. I know you're the type of full-on professional. You never go out partying. But apart from that, who are going to be the guys to beat here tonight?
Well, Dennis, he's going to go real fast. You got Craig Dack and Glenn Bell. There's some young up-and-coming riders, Troy Donner and Dale Britton. Those guys are going to go really fast. So there's a number of people that are capable of winning. A lot lies on the start, so we'll just try to get a good start, and I'm going to do the best I can.
All the best and good luck for tonight. Okay, folks, now it's time to bring up one of our Aussies. Please make him welcome on the Honda, Glenn Bell. Good to see you. Good. Now we're working. Good to see you up here, Billy. Looking forward to a big night.
Yeah, I am. I had a good practice, and the bike's running fine. Yokohama's are hooking up, so I'm out there to give it my shot.
You're ready to kick a bit of backside, bit of American backside. You've had a few problems in the past. You had a sore back at Penrith. Everything A-OK at the moment?
Yeah, not too bad. I healed up, and I'm out there to give these Yanks a hurry up, and all the Aussies as well. But we're going to put on a good race for you people.
What do you reckon? Do you think the Aussies can kick the Yanks backside or not?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're going to try their best, but we'll try a bit harder.
Okay, good luck to Glenn. What do you guys think? Do you think the Aussies can kick a bit of American butt? All right. Okay, riding now for Peter Jackson Yamaha team, the Dack Attack, Craig Dack. Now, who is a sexy-looking boy tonight? Out there in the new colours, Dacker. The motorbike's the same, but change of colours and a bright new year in 1991.
Well, yeah, well, that's right. All the new gear. The Peter Jackson team is the official team for Yamaha this year, and they put a lot of work into it, and it's just formed together for this night. So it's the brand new bike, the brand new gear, and it's the first time it's been out.
Well, you've had a good year so far. First at Penrith, second at Newcastle. And what are we hoping for tonight? Another first?
Well, it's nice. It's always a plan to win, but it doesn't always work that way, especially when you've got so many good guys at the moment. The racing has been very tight and very intense, and I'd be happy to win if I could.
Mate, quickly, just about some of the young blokes. We've seen a few of the older blokes up here, but some of the young guys coming through the ranks putting a scare into some of you older fellas.
Well, that's right. There's definitely some fast guys out there at the moment, as far as the young guys go, but conditioning is a very important factor in this sport, and you've got to be very fit to be able to cope with the 20-lap final and go fast for the whole race. So that's probably going to be the important thing tonight is the conditioning.
In the front straight away. It's the Peter Jackson jump where you can see the finishing line right in front of the control tower. They'll certainly be getting plenty of air over there. And of course a brilliant layout thanks to Trevor Brooks and the team from Supercross Masters from Spokes Limited. And they've put a lot of effort in down here in very, very arduous weather conditions. Okay, we're off and racing. Can Fast Eddie. He tries to get out on the inside. inside. He'll take away the lead as they go down over the first jump. They're all still intact. Oh, isn't that something? Here they come back now onto the front straightaway. Here, let's see how much order Eddie Ryan can get us. It's all the way. 48 dropping into the second spot as he makes his way down into the bottom turn. Fairly close up behind them, so Brad Purcell now moves into second as they go down through the short chute. Now they come back through the infield with fast Eddie Ryan starting to show that determination of his. Getting plenty of air as he makes his way very comfortably clear of the field. Purcell now dropping into second spot. Back behind them as they make their way down the front straight away is Tony Elliott. Elliott actually closing on Purcell at this stage. Looks for an inside pass, but he can't call that. In the meantime, though, our American visitor is starting to storm away from the field.
Warren looking nice down there in turn number 4 as you look at it on the speedway aboard the Goldman Kawasaki big KX 250 down the main straightaway. Does the triple nicely up over the Peter Jackson tabletop, getting plenty of air. And look at the gap back to second place rider, bike number 48 on the Yamaha, Bradley Purcell. Here comes our man Stan Bergen. He's on bike number 13, and Tony Elliott rounds out the top 4, but Eddie Warren, the Motown magician, they call him, in a class all of his own at the moment. Centre of the track and looking great. One rider down, he's the first casualty of the night aboard the Honda. But still Warren tripping in the middle of the field, looking beautiful. So many jumps on a very tricky Fraser Park circuit here tonight. Many different ways you can take all the jumps. That was bike number 50, Bryce Greenwood. Bryce Greenwood, bike number 50, was out fallen right. He's back up and A-OK, and here comes Warren, the race leader. Looking extremely safe out front. And it looks as though it could be 1-0 to America early on in the night. Second and third are starting to close on each other. Bradley Purcell and Stan the Man Bergen. Both riders doing it for Outrider Yamaha. And look at Bergen and Purcell almost side by side. Bergen on the inside, Purcell on the outside. And this is where they separate the men's from the boys over the stutter jumps. And it is Bergen coming away with second position. Well, another rider down right in front of our man Fast Eddie. That was 131. Matthew Bingley. So Bingley, another casualty. Eddie Warren doing a little bit of show ponying for some of the cameras. Warren coming back down the main straightaway, starting to lap a lot of the slower traffic. Up over the tabletop yet again, it's going to be very hard to pass Warren from here.
Well, obviously the opening couple of motos really do give the riders their first taste of race traction earlier in the day, of course, and they get to compete and try out the track when it is very, very loose, it's dusty, and they're always trying to set gear ratios for a track that's going to afford plenty of traction. Eddie Warren at this stage, though, no doubt about him, he is really just stalling Norman away from the rest of the field, doing it very comfortably indeed as he makes his way down back through the infield section. You haven't got to be Einstein to work out the lead that he's established over the rest of the field. Graham Stewart will give him the last lap board this time around, and actually Eddie's going to put a lap on quite a number of competitors in the 250 category, heat number 1 tonight. Here comes Warren up to take the last lap board now. Very stylish, and that's the mark of a good motocrosser, the guy who makes it look easy without being overly spectacular, because he's going forward all the time. Warren makes his way down through the infield, doing it comfortably past the Kicks 106 sign. And of course, Stan the Man Bergen still doing comfortably there on bike number 13. He was an absolute standout performer, I thought, at the Newcastle Motordrome a week ago. Was just fantastic to watch and had it all together. Okay, we're waiting for the checkered flag for our American visitor, Fast Eddie Warren. The tracing them back through the infield section as they break clear. And he's just dealing with a couple of those slower riders, hooked him up pretty badly on one of the jumps over there. But he comes into the final series of jumps now on turn number 4, hugging down to the inside to make sure he gives those riders he's about to lap plenty of racing room. And here he comes. Put your hands together. Fast Eddie Warren! He's going to get home first. Looks like Stan the Man's going to pick up a second spot. He said 13's not lucky. Here comes Stan Bergen now for Outrider Yamaha. Brake number 13, and he gets across the line, so Stanbergen picks up the second. I think it's going to be bad personnel for Stonycrook Motorcycles and Shell across the line, and he will pick up third place. So, Eddie White off to a very, very comfortable start tonight here at Fraser Park in heat number 1 of the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters. We're going shortly to the 125 A, B and C grade class over 5 laps. Keeping in mind the first 8 place getters go to event number 16, with the remainder to event number 9.
Okay, this is the first of the 125s up on the line at the moment. A, B and C all in there together. A few withdrawals. Robinson, Ashkenazi, Schwebel are your 3 withdrawals. Keep your eye on Cameron Taylor on bike number 11. He's aboard the Honda, exceptionally quick in practice, as was Brad Woodison and Brendan Sheridan, 29 and 51 respectively. In the starter's hands, off and racing in this heat number 2. Heat number 1, sorry, event number 2 on the program. Everyone in there together. You could throw a blanket over the lot of them at the moment as they all rev down over a very long series of jumps. And here comes Cameron Taylor round the outside. I'm not too sure if it's going to be successful. Taylor and Woodison side by side up over the tabletop. 125 class, bike number 89, Chris Heggett, not having the best of luck. Tries for a second time up to get onto the Peter Jackson tabletop, gives it a gun and makes it up third time lucky, but it is Cameron Taylor, bike number 11, doing it for Dandenong Honda and O'Neill. As I said earlier, he was exceptionally quick earlier on in practice today on a very dry track and a very dusty track. Doesn't want to go for the triple that time round. 29, Brad Woodison in second, and bike number 126, Craig Tanner aboard the Yamaha, holding down third position. Coming back round to complete yet another lap, it is Cameron Taylor going for the big triple and getting more air than the 250s that time round. Is aboard the smaller 125, the CR 1991 model. A long row of stutter jumps down in turns 1 and 2 of the speedway. The 125's finding it a little bit more difficult than the 250 machines would. One rider down I missed was up turn number 4. If you look at it on the speedway, looks to be winded aboard a Yamaha. I can't pick out the number as yet. The rider sitting on the edge of the track looks to be in good hands. Cameron Taylor in the meantime doing it nicely with bike number 117 that fell. Mark Zonnefeld was the rider. He just looks a little bit dejected at the moment. Cameron Taylor in the meantime comes back round past the fallen rider, taking the outside line. Doing a few of the doubles there, coming down to the triples and up over the PJ Supercross Masters tabletop finish line.
Well, he's doing it nicely out in front, Cameron Taylor. As you said, riding for Dandenong Honda and O'Neill. Certainly seems to have all our 2 runaway victories in our opening 2 races tonight. A little bit of a scrap going on there back in second spot. We'll see whether that closes up. Brad Woodison doing it quite nicely. I think it's Craig Tanner now running back there in third as they make their way back through the infill section of the racetrack. Whoa! Oh, excuse me, that was expensive. Okay, give him a hand. Brad Woodison. He's trying to pick it up and go again. Boy, that really did. It was probably the longest leap of the night. Problem was he wasn't on the bike. So Brad Woodison's okay. That's good to see. In the meantime, Cameron Taylor continues to lead on number 11. That's the Honda. He goes down to turn number 1 and flicks back through the infield section of the racetrack. Now that's taking a bit of the pressure off for second. That's still Craig Tanner running in second on 126. And looking for third now. And I think you'll find it's number 70, that's Peter Lowcock, riding for Turtle Landscape Supplies. And he's at least able to start there on the Honda. But they have spread themselves out fairly convincingly after that little coming together. And the spectacular moment of the evening so far with Brad Woodison coming back through just near the Kicks 106 sign and then bailing off the machine, failing to take the jump. In the meantime, though, we'll pick up our race lead. It's getting back in the field. There are a couple of good scraps going on. Here's Cameron Taylor coming out to take the last lap board. 1 lap to go, and he's elected to use the outside line. Okay, he's back on the bike again. Brad Witterson on 29 was running second in the field. He's got something hooked up there just behind the forks, but he's at least going to come up as a finisher in this race. They're on the final lap now in the 125 A, B and C grade. This is your opening heat. Once again, the distance is 5 laps. Another one fighting the dust down there in turn number 1. We can give him a little bit of a razz, get him back up on the bike and get him started and on his way. Graham Stewart looking with the checkered flag for his race leader. And it's still Cameron Taylor on bike number 11, doing it comfortably, moving down the back straight now. Gee, he's looked sharp out there. Hasn't had one moment in this race. He's getting higher as the race proceeds. Hasn't got too far to go now. Coming into the final series of jumps up to the tabletop. And here's your winner on plate number 11, the Bandit on Honda. It's Cameron Taylor. Great ride from Cameron. Second spot is in fact going to go to Craig Tanner on 126. And I think that Peter Lowcock will probably hold on to finish back there in third place. They've certainly spread themselves out well and truly around the arena, but nobody is going to come up and take a win away from Cameron Taylor. In fact, we're just waiting on plate number 70, Peter Lowcock, to finish now. Here's the third spot. And here he comes. And checkered flag time. So there you have your first 3 in for the 125. Okay, moving on now to event number 3, the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters Heat number 2. We go back to the 250 class. Again, the distance is 5 laps. Craig Dack on plate number 1, the Peter Jackson Yamaha Racing entry. Ben Paris on the Honda, plate number 4. Mark Kirkman on 14. Jamie Cunningham on 20. Bowman on 21, Stuart Bennett on 27, 35 is Alex Briggs, 47 is Michael Follins, 49 Glenn McDonald. You can scratch Kim Ashkenazi. Had a problem at Newcastle, came off the machine there last week. Jonathan Jones lines up on plate number 53, then Roebuck on 58, Matthew Taylor on 64, then there's Brett Patton on 66, 71 is Greg Skelly, 75 is David Day, Shane Weston lines up on 39, there's Paul Davies in the field, Jeff Bailey, Mike Shearer, Sean Andrews, and Mullen on 74. So very strong fields tonight.
And are ready to take off within the 5 seconds. Got the 5, we're ready to go racing. Off they go. One rider was stuck at the gates, and it's young Benny Paris leading them out. Inside comes Craig Dack. Paris goes into the sky and is leading as they come down in front of the main grandstand for the first time. Going back to the inside to thwart the challenge of Dack, and Ben Paris, this 18-year-old from Ulladulla, leads them. He's aboard the Honda. Craig Dack in the new Peter Jackson colours, right in there in second position. And look at Dack over the stutter jumps. Is this man going to be hard to stop tonight or what? Right down over the back of the bike and flying over the stutters. Although he did pass Paris, Paris will learn a lot by just watching the Dack attack in motion. Third place, Paulie Roman on bike number 21 with bike 20, Jamie Cunningham, Stuart Bennett, and Alex Briggs all up there amongst the top riders. And look at some of the quicker guys go straight for the air over the triple jumps.
Yes, they certainly are, and Dack very, very determined to come up with his first ever race win for Jackson. This is his first ride for the new team in all the team colours tonight, and he certainly looks resplendent out there. Plate number 1, Ben Paris doing a good job on Honda on 4. Riders is your next one back on 21. Then 27, certainly well placed at Stuart Bennett as they go down to the left-hander, and he's of course being trialled by the plate number 28. They make their way back through the infield, back with no problems whatsoever. Clears the jumps out of the infield, goes up to take the right-hander again from Ben Paris. Paris trying to do his best, but all the time Dack is just going away from the rest of the field. 21 Roman still runs there in third place. Whoa! Oh, that's one way of nailing the flagman. Graham Stewart, he's got checks on his shoulders, but he's got something else in his duds. Okay, there's Craig Dack. Plate number 1. Clearing down into the left-hander. Ben still about the same distance back. Not about scrappy at 27 getting up on the inside. So they're really having their fight together. That's Stewie Bennett and Paul Raymond as they go into the bottom corner. Now down through the stutters. And just look at the gap now. Back to Ben Paris. Then the fabulous dice going on between Bennett on 27, Raymond on 21 to go to the inside here. And the two of them are side by side again. Not too far back behind them on the Kawasaki is Jamie Cunningham, not doing a bad job. He actually might pick a place up out of this. Rondo hasn't got a way about it as Dak. He's caught up with lap riders here on the outside. But that's very, very comfortably as they come onto the front straightaway. Changes direction in mid-air, goes from the outside to the inside. Then he's doing a fair job of trying to hold him in, or at least stay in contact with him, and Craig comes off his bike. We've seen Craig with just a touch of dropsy in the front. In fact, Bedworth, and also at Newcastle last weekend, he had some problems, came down once or twice during the course of the night. At this moment, though, the only thing that could bring him unglued would be a slower rider. He'll probably get the last lap board the next time around. They turn back through the infield section of the racetrack, so Dak's out. Coming up on some of these slower riders now, up through turn number 4. Just watch the way he deals with some of these guys on the outside. Well, he gets a little bit off course there. Now he gets it back into gear. He'll take the last lap sign from Graham Stewart now. So Craig Dak, well and truly, on his way to scoring his first ever victory with all of Peter Jackson gear on the new Peter Jackson Yamaha 2. Coming back through the infield, let's look back and see how the rest of the field. Benny Perry starting it up in the back wheel. Down through the infield. One down, back. He'll pick himself up. Try and stay out of harm's way. They take the yellow caution flag just to let the riders know that someone has spilled himself over the racetrack. Okay, looking for our race leader, and he is coming on down through the back straightaway. Checkered flag almost at the ready now. Turn 4 coming up. A big moment in the career of Craig Dak as he straightens out. This is his first win for Peter Jackson Yamaha. Craig Dak. Give it a hand, great ride. Ben Cruz is going to salvage a very solid second out of this as he comes into the last turn now. Coming down over the jumps, headed down for the checkered flag, so Benny Paris on plate number 4 for Honda will pick up second spot. And it looks like Stewie Bennett there on 27 is in fact going to pick up third for Valine on the Suzuki. So there you have it, your first 3 across the line. Paul Raymond did a good job on 21, as did of course J.W. Cunningham on plate number 20, finishes back there in 5th place.
B and C grade. Eddie Warren is a withdrawal from this one. Got Paul Timmins, Stuart Bennett on bike number 27, backing up again. Jason Bukowski, Greg Nicholson on the Kawasaki, one to watch, his bike number 37. Open Racing, one of the riders was left there at the gate, that was 81 I think, on the Suzuki. Stewie Bennett though, he's just backing up from the 250 class, leading them down on the smaller 125cc Suzuki, the RM, doing it nicely. Second place is 179. Peter Milan, in there on 179. It is Stewie Bennett out front over the stutter jumps. Fairly evenly matched group of riders. This one, Bennett, who would now be feeling a little bit tired from the previous race, has to try and hold off the challenge of Peter Milan. Milan doing it nicely, going for some rather odd racing lines. Is doing the right thing. Right on Bennett's back wheel as they go into the left-hander. There's a single jump down there and back onto the starting straight, the speed jump you see. And from this point on, ladies and gentlemen, there is thousands of different ways to tackle these jumps. A series of 10 or so jumps. You can double, triple, single, whatever you like down there, whatever you feel is quickest. You'll see a lot of riders experimenting within the heat races to try and perfect the correct and fastest racing line when it comes to the business end of the night in the 20-lap Peter Jackson Supercross Masters final. Stewie Bennett tackling the stutter jumps nicely, having a few problems as he reached towards the end of them. Second place at the moment is bike number 28, Jason Borkowski. Third place, 179, Max Twig.
Stewie Bennett continues to lead as they come down the front straightaway. And Stewie having a great night here tonight. He clears out as he goes over the tabletop. 28 still trials as they head down the front straightaway. Jason Bukowski. But look at the gap between Bennett and Bukowski. It's opening up all the time as they go down into the left-hander, come back through the infield again. They're probably about an equal distance back as they come through the infield. Coming back towards the control tower and swinging through there comfortably. So it's 179, swings through there, and that of course is Maxi Twig. So Twig has certainly twigged it okay. Still runs in third spot, but they have cleared out entirely as they go down the front straight. Not our race leader, he is just annihilating them here tonight. Stewie Bennett doing it nicely here on the Suzuki as he swings through turn number 4. Now let's watch his approach to the tabletop. He's got 2 laps to go. Swings clear, and I guess you could say he's almost got the length of the straight. 28 still runs in second, Jason Bukowski. And then not a bad scrap going on for third. 179 still holding in there, Max Twig. He's got 37 getting pretty close to him as they come down the front straight away, and that's Greg Nicholson. Nicholson has been using the outside line. Just look at the scrap here for third spot. Everyone's in it. There's 4 bikes in there, all disputing third place. And in fact, we have had a change there. They're going inside and outside. Who's it going to be? Around the outside, 69 doing a heck of a job there. And that, of course, is Jan Pesciu. Pesciu to Pest. He gets up on the inside, so he's come from well back in the field. That is a good third. Race leader, Stewie Bennett, about to take the last lap board of Graham Stewart on the Suzuki. So he clears out well and truly. He's got almost the full length of the front straightaway. Second spot still being held down by Jason Bukowski on number 28. Then we go back to this rather savage scrap that's been going on. 69 still holding third. Jan Pesciu on Bob Campbell's motorcycles, Kawasaki. He came for about 7th at the back, and he's been able to split them and run away to third. I don't think they're going to pick him up inside the distance. Not going to be too much in it anyway. 91 still back in the back there as well. Not making any ground on them as they swing back to the infield. Our race leader, Stewie Bennett, doing it very, very comfortably on the Suzuki. And he's going up there very, very close past the Dulux side now. Coming up the final set of jumps that'll bring him down to the tabletop. The Peter Jackson scoop to the checkered flag. And here he comes, our race winner. Over the jumps, up to take the checkered flag. Stewie Bennett, well, 100 as he came across there. Just to let everyone know, he had this thing dialed in from start to finish. 28 across the line, going to pick up in second spot, young Race and Jason Bukowski. And it looks like Jan Pesciu on number 69. Woo! Going to pick up third for Bob Campbell motorcycle. So much for the 125 A, B and C grade here tonight.
Troy Doran on 6 and Dale Britton on 5. We're in the starter's hands. 5 seconds to go. Off and racing, and it was the American Hawthorne first out of the gate. Quicker than Ben Johnson, over 100 as they go down into the first left-hander. Glenn Bell, Troy Doran, Dale Britton and Phil Sargent up there on bike number 15, all challenging. And here comes Belly, Australia versus the United States. And look at the Honda rider, Glenn Bell on the inside, the Yank on the outside, and now Troy Doran wants a piece of the action. Hawthorne around the outside of Bell, Bell goes inside. Hawthorne over the stutter jumps extremely quick and takes the lead back off Bell. Troy Doran, Dale Britton and Phil Sargent, and Bell has done it again. Lands awkwardly on the centre of the track. Hawthorne and Bell, this is sensational stuff. Bell back on the inside. Hawthorne will have the triple. And now Bell is in trouble with Doran right on his hammer. Bell on the inside. Australia v America, folks, and it's Australia leading on the Honda bike number 8, Glenn Bell. Bell with Hawthorne right on the back side of him. him. Hawthorne coming wide down the main straightaway. Up over the tabletop, Glenn Bell. Hawthorne still in second. Troy Doran, bike number 6. The 19-year-old Victorian whiz kid on the inside of Hawthorne, and Bell has hit it sideways and off the track. Glenn Bell, a momentary lapse in concentration, and Dale Britton forgot to turn left. No doubt about the rocket from Dallas, but he's been tackled on the inside, taken away too. He goes back a spot. Bell's still in this now. Just looking to work the infield. Great boy, Dorn. Give it again. So Dorn leads the high flying Yankee. Okay, let's look for Dennis Hawthorne coming back here on the inside. This is a real race, undoubtedly the best of the night. Okay, Troy Doran comes down the front straight away. Right behind him is Dennis Hawthorne of the United States, and Glenn Bell wants a bit of the action. They sweep through the left-hander, go down over the starter jumps. They're selecting the inside, and Hawthorne picks up the straighter room here. They come back to another set of starters. Oh! Our leader's got Hawthorne. Tell you what, he's picked up first prize in the bloody lottery tonight. They're all coming back to him. Okay, it's now up to Burke, and he put him in inside the distance. Back through the infield. Come on, Glenn Bell. Let's get behind him as he works the infield. Holy moly! Glenn Bell takes the lead. Come on, stand up and cheer. The Aussie boys back in front, and Bell very uncomfortably tries to split two riders. Playing pocket ball here with Dennis Hawthorne as they come across the starting or the finishing line again. Bell doing it nicely, but Hawthorne's a professional. Hawthorne heads them down into the bottom turn. Can Bell hang it on? Last time he got out of shape down there at the end of those jumps. Again, it's Hawthorne coming up on the inside. Just can't pull it this time. Black Rider coming up to interfere. No, he stays out of it. In fact, that helps Bell just a little bit. Coming back over through the infield section, past the Peter Jackson sign, into the right-hander. Bell comes up on a lap rider, goes to the outside of him. The rider looks over his shoulder, will allow Hawthorne through. Hawthorne getting pretty there too as they go back down and take the left-hander near the starting gate. I think they'll take the last lap forward next time around. Glenn Bell riding for Honda Australia, doing a great job. Dennis Hawthorne on the Golden Kawasaki machine. One lap to go. Can the Aussie boys stay in front? Hawthorne, a great job there running in second spot, looking for Doran, and also coming back through the field on plate number 5 as they head their way down to the bottom corner. Dale Britton looks like he might pick up the third out of this one. Still on in earnest up there for the lead. Bell's managed to stabilise the lead that he held at probably about half a lap ago. He comes up to the right-hander. He's probably opened up to 4 or 5 bike lengths. Been a remarkable ride from Glenn Bell. Look at the air he gets down through the infield. Now he takes that U-turn, brings him back onto the back straightaway, and he skips clear. Boy, is he deserving of victory reception here tonight. The last quarter comes up. Time to get those hands together, folks. The Aussie boy, Glenn Bell, takes the checker. Holy moly. Dennis Hawthorne of the United States will pick up second spot, and I think getting up for third place as they go across the line will in fact be Dale Britton on plate number 5. Sacramento $50,000 fluoro caps and t-shirts, all available at those locations around the ground that we've given to. Okay, time to go racing in the 125 class. Okay, Kirkman on the Suzuki was first out of the gates. Bergen is in there right behind him. Bike number 44, David Mann also there, and Kirkman crossing it right up. Coming down the main straightaway, not doing the triple, but getting plenty of air up over the Peter Jackson tabletop. Bergen in second place, bike number 30, Adam Snedden also in there. And a large medal in this heat number 3 of the 125s. Kirkman, a well-known 125 specialist, enjoys the smaller bike and looks good on the infield of the circuit on the RM 1991 model. Stan Bergen in there. Adam Snedden on bike number 30, bike 49. Also in there, that's Glenn McDonald. McDonald doing it nicer with 44. David Mann still up there with a chance, but Kirkman and Bergen look to be the 2 to beat in this one. Kirkman going back down the straightaway, the high bank left-hander, and launching themselves up into the air. As I said earlier, many different ways to do the stutters and doubles, triples, whatever you'd like to call them. Down there as Bergen comes up on the inside of Kirkman. Yamaha versus Suzuki Power. They go down over a little set of double jumps, sharp left-hander and the stutter jumps. Now this is where everything will be sorted out over the stutter jumps. You saw Craig Dack earlier on in the night. Extremely quick over the stutter, sitting right back in the saddle and really letting the bike do all the work. As Kirkman and Bergen go at it, and they've built up quite a nice lead. Bike 49, Glenn McDonald has moved up into a nice third position with bike number 30, Adam Snedden, doing it for Fraser's Motorcycles in there in fourth. But Kirkman and Bergen have pulled out on a nice little gap, about 3.5 racing laps to go. And a long distance back to Glenn McDonald on 49. Bergen landing very hard, casing out down there, as does McDonald. A little bit of a jinx down there at the bottom section of the curse, and yet again, Bergen quicker on the front straight away than Kirkman, and the two go at it side by side. One fallen rider coming up and a few slow riders, so this will test them out. Kirkman ducks to the inside over the stutter jumps. Bergen didn't have the momentum to hold up there with him, and Kirkman again gets the big slingshot run over the second row of stutters.
Mark, a good job out there on the Suzuki. It was down to just a bike length last time they came over the tabletop. But Bergen hasn't been able to put him back in inside the distance. They go down through the infield section again, and Stan the man still trying to rip him back, but can't do it at this stage. Suzuki's just got a little too much. Riding for Suzuki Australia and Midnight Racing, it's Mark Kirkman, the race leader, taking the 14 coming down the front straight away at the moment. Right behind him, Stan Bergen for Outrider Yamaha. They're still in this one, having a big shake. There's the leader going through on the Suzuki. Bergen's your next rider on 13. He'll switch to the inside, tries to diamond that turn. Couldn't pull it. Now they're trying to suffer as they go down to this one. A little bit closer that time. Back through the infield section again. But I tell you, you really couldn't fool the Suzuki rider at this stage. Comfortably clear by about 3 bike lengths, heading back through the wreck area turn, the right-hander. Now almost back through that second part of the U-turn, back through the infield. Bergen getting a little bit closer now. Okay, they take the sharp turn, left back out onto the starting straight again. They'll take the last lap sign this time around. Riding from Suzuki, Mark Kirkman out there in front, electing to try and run down here on the inside. That's not too bad, except, Bergen caught the top of that jump. It must have almost shaken his teeth. So Kirkman with a little bit of the pressure off at this stage, and Bergen with it all to do as they go back through the infield for the final time.
Okay, the stutter jumps about 1/2 racing lap to go, and it is the Suzuki rider from Griffith in the New South Wales Far West doing it nicely aboard bike number 14, Kirkman, sponsored by Suzuki Australia and of course Midnight Racing Apparel. Stan Bergen in there in second. Bergen has come on in leaps and bounds in recent years, attended a lot of the Stephen Gall motocross riding schools, and his performances of past have been indicating that Bergen is a rider of the future. Last lap forward is out, and here comes Kirkman and Bergen. 2 bike lengths in it, and the checkered flag out for Mark Kirkman on the Suzuki. Stan Bergen will take the second. A long way back to bike number 49 on the Kawasaki, Glenn McDonald. And fourth will be bike number 30, Adam Snedden. So a great heat 3 there for the 125
semi-final. The really serious part of the racing is now to begin, because the riders have to make that cut-off to make sure that they're into the final without having to go via the last chance qualifier or indeed the repechage event. Eddie Warren and Craig Dack should be exciting Supercross. Warren riding for Goulburn Kawasaki, Craig Dack for Peter Jackson in the official Australian Yamaha team. Ready to go racing! And they are! Getting out smartly, fast Eddie Warren. There he goes up on the inside. Takes over the lead. Let's look for Craig Dack. See him back there in second spot as they swing back there. Oh, and Warren's goofed it! Warren's come off, and just look who's back in front. It's the Dack attack! 31 getting up there on the outside as they go down to the bottom corner. And that, of course, is Ben Linscott. We'll see how long Ben can stay there. Okay, heading one up the Beatles. Went back to 13th in the field. So can he come back from there? Little Backer is clearing it out on the Jackson Yamaha as he goes back through Recce at the right-hand turn. Really going pretty well. Jamie Cunningham up in the second there on the Kawasaki. Anyone's guess for third. Looking for Eddie Warren. As we said, started the pieces in 13th spot, but he's coming through them like a house on fire. Okay, coming back through the infield section, passing two at a time. Eddie Warren, just look at him in the pack. More dynamite than a Scud missile. Okay, down the front straight away, back getting away from it. Into the bottom third. Still Jamie Cunningham running there in second spot. Back behind them on block number 13 is Stan Bergen. Stan's done more laps here than anyone tonight. And Warren coming back through the field looking for a third place finish. Warren caught up over the Stubbers as they go down. He hugs the inside line. Now has to wait for the traffic to clear and looks at it as they come back down through the infield section. Coming past Toyota Husky, really getting the pedal to the metal. And he's doing one heck of a job. Now, let me see, he's up into 5th spot. That is one excellent ride. Now, can he capitalise on that? I have a feeling he probably can. In the meantime, though, our race leader comes over, the Peter Jackson tabletop. That's Craig Dack on the Yamaha, doing it nicely. Runs bitten the dust up there in the middle of the pack. Jamie Cunningham runs in second spot. Look what's going on here for third, though, as they come along the start-finishing straight. 48 hanging on in there. And that, of course, is Brad Purcell. And right behind him is the Motown Magician. Mr. Warren getting up on the inside. So Warren has now come up into third in the pack. That is a sensational ride. Got to finish in the top 10. He could cool it now, but he doesn't want to. He wants second spot. And if Dak falls, he'll have to win. Back to the record, a right-hander through the infield section. Over the jumps Jamie Cunningham on the Kawasaki, and now Eddie Warren on the golden Kawasaki. He takes the low line through there. 6 laps the distance, so he certainly has the left on his side at the moment. Dak in the meantime is getting away from the rest of the pack. But here comes Eddie Warren working away here on the inside. See if he can keep the distance. Cunningham on the Kawasaki runs in second, and first Eddie Warren starting to gain the ground, but he's passing in this part of the racetrack down on the inside. So Warren, he was leading the race, started back in 13th, but has now made it up to second. The ride of the night so far for Fast Eddie. In the meantime, Craig Dack goes past the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters starting line, working away at a few of the slower riders, using the infield section there to get some racing room. A couple of fallen from their machines. A couple of laps to go before we'll take the last lap board. So Dacker looking very sharp out there tonight, and it's Peter Jackson gear, plate number 1. Fast Eddie looking for him. He's back probably about 20 bike lengths, but still a very solid second. And he'll be most upset with himself for falling up there in the first turn. They should take the last lap board the next time around as Dack starts to come back through the infield traffic. And has to be very careful here. He doesn't take the front wheel down on the inside of someone into a right-hander, only to have it chopped off. So he's electing to go to the outside. Some of the riders showing due caution and diligence, allowing the riders around the outside and the inside of them. So Dack will now move past the Peter Jackson starting line, onto the fast circuit through this board, gets it straight for the next jump, comes up through this series of jumps, and will now take the last lap board. And here he comes. Over 3 and 1 down, over the Peter Jackson tabletop, so Craig Dack, 1 lap to go for Craig. Looking for Fast Eddie Warren to still try to split a couple of these lap riders, running a very, very solid second spot. Jamie Cunningham was running back in third on plate number 20, think he still is. And he will now take the last lap board, and on a quick 148, just back behind them, it's Brad Purcell there, running in 4th spot. No doubt about who's going to take the checkered flag in this first semi-final. They go past the Toyota Husky and the Kicks 106 on. So they make their way back onto the starting straight, up now through the band. And there's no doubt about the the ground that Eddie Lowe has picked up, but the last corner is coming up and the run to the checkered flag. He hasn't put a foot wrong all night. Ladies and gentlemen, a winner again, Mr. A bit about a special hand for the man who can come back from the dead. First inning won. Great ride. And looks like Jamie Cunningham, plate number 30 on the Kawasaki, is in fact going to pick up third spot. And we're waiting on Jamie to come on in and pick up the checker now. And he's about to do that as he goes over the line. And I would think that Brad Purcell on 48 will in fact pick up fourth spot. That's your first semi-final tonight. Could have been a little closer if Eddie had stayed upright, because he really did motor out of the starting line.
Well, Dacker, I don't need to ask these guys how well you're going, but congratulations, a big semi-final win over Eddie too.
Well, yeah, fortunately, unfortunately for Eddie, but fortunately for me, he fell down in the first turn, which definitely made things much easier. It would have been quite a good race if he had stayed up. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Mate, I guess you'll be watching the next semi fairly closely. The other Yankee and Glenn Bell had a great heat race, and they're together in the next one.
Oh yeah, they look good. I mean, the track's starting to chop out now too, and lines are definitely changing out there. So, as I said earlier, it's going to be a race of fitness, the final, with everybody going very much the same speed. And it's also, you've got to be very smart out there to pick the right line. So it's going to be a real interesting final.
Is the bike going all right, and does Craig Dack feel fit enough to win the 20-lapper?
Well, fitness has always been one of my strong points, so that'll be the area I'll be working hard on. The bike's working very good with the Orleans shocks and the Peter Jackson Yamaha. It's just, I mean, well, what can I say? It's won 2 races so far and it's working quite fine.
Craig, we wish you all the best. How about it, folks? We wish Dacker best of luck in the final.
So it really is a lot easier to be able to take the definite transfer spot through the 10. Okay, stand ready to haul. Ready they go. Hawthorne getting the whole shot, but it's Glenn Bell on the outside of him. No, it's Ben Police. Ben Police makes a run here on the outside of the American, but it'll be Hawthorne to lead them down the front straight. So it's the American rider clear. Moving up smartly, Glenn Bell, then Ben Police. Then around the outside of the Troy Dawn, up on the inside too. We've got a great race going here in the American. Under a little bit of pressure here as they go down through the infield section of the racetrack. Let's see whether they can pull him in back inside the distance. Holcrown out there on that golden Kawasaki. Dennis Hawthorne from the Lone Star State. Okay, he goes to the infield, but going after him is Glenn Bell. Bell doesn't want him to get away. Hawthorne has got the taps wide open. Uses the high line out of there. Let's see if Bell can make up any distance. I think they've probably gone for a different gearing setting on the Kawasaki. Hawthorne looks a little more comfortable, but I'll tell you what, Bell's coming back at him here on the inside. They're coming in for the completion of another lap. 6 laps in this semi-final, and Glenn Bell is getting closer all the time. Ben Police, a very good third. Troy Dawn is down there on the inside, running back there in 4th spot, and Dale Britton in 5th. Okay, can the Kawasaki Mountain Yankee hold off the Aussie boy? Hawthorne looks good out there. Goes up over the Kicks 106 jump. Now back through the infield, the right-hander in Rick there. And to his credit, Glenn Bell has not given up. Hawthorne now looks far more comfortable this time out on the Kawasaki. The boys from Gallup and Kawasaki have done a great job in the preparation of this one. The 250 absolutely screaming as it comes back in for the completion of another lap. Bell trying to stay in touch with him. In fact, Bell running the low line through that turn. Hawthorne, though, getting plenty of air over the Peter Jackson tabletop. Back in third there is still Troy Dawn. He's followed, of course, by Dale Britton. Ben Police has gone back 3 spots. Then number 14 coming back up through the back again after looking out of it just a little bit earlier as they sweep down through the infield. And that, of course, is Mark Bergman. Okay, the man from the Lone Star State. 5 times United States Arena Cross champion Dennis Hawthorne out in front. Very, very fast through that section of the track. Glenn Bell going after him as they make the U-turn and back along. The starting straight again up into the canyon jump. Now the thing that Hawthorne is going to have to be careful of, just up ahead of him there's a group of about 3 bikes. They're going left, right, and right, left. So they're going every which way. The American is trying to hold out Glenn Bell. He's coming up on this group of bikes and he'll catch them right almost at the end of this left-hander. Here he comes down on the inside. and takes the lot of them, but goes in high. Bell makes a run at them too, but Jackson on the inside. They make their way out of it, back through the infield again. Great riding on the part of Hawthorn. Dennis Hawthorn, Dennis. He gets away there on the outside, but here comes Bell. Bell working away there at the burn. They both get plenty of air as they go through the infield. The Kawasaki leading from the hard Honda. Okay, back along the starting straight. Through the berm, and just look how close Glenn Bell was at that section. I'd say probably only a couple left in this one. Hawthorn takes the inside initiative as they both put a lap on 66, and without any doubt, Glenn Bell is getting closer. Can he pull back the American inside the distance? They've got more lap bikes to contend with. Hawthorn is going to make a run here on the outside. Bell thought about the inside. He'll catch him. There's no two ways about it. If he can pass him, well, that's another matter. There he goes on the inside and does it. Hawthorn comes out elbow to elbow. Now he has the line for the next turn, but he can't put it in on the inside of him. Yes, he can. They work down the straightaway. Hawthorn takes the lead back again. Glenn Bell, not to be denied, is coming again, and they'll take the last lap there this time around. There's a dying of pedestrian that wasn't right 30 seconds ago. Oh, and Bell has come a cropper. Hawthorn will take the last lap there, but Glenn Bell's okay. Ding dong. We can have Bell's rattling those ears there for a while. That is a good challenge. And to be honest, the American was able to answer it, and answer it very, very smartly indeed. Giving it a hand of commiseration. Glenn Bell, he was giving it his best shot. Okay, he continues on with it now for our race leader on plate number H, and doing it comfortably. There's no doubt about it, he's starting to look pretty sharp here tonight. First ever visit to Australia from the Lone Star State. He's coming round now, getting ready for checkered flag time. Riding for Golden Kawasaki. Last turn coming up now, and he's going to go comfortably up over these couple of jumps, takes the checkered flag, and it's Dennis Hawthorn of the United States who picks up the win. Fantastic ride from him. Looks like across the line in second is going to be Dale Britton, followed by Troy Doran, and then 75 just sitting back behind them as they went down to the finishing line.
Dan, congratulations, great ride. Second time tonight, Glenn Bell and you all the way to the end.
Yeah, Glenn, he's a real smooth rider, and he's fun to ride with. I don't have to worry about him trying to take me out. You guys got good riders. I fully respect your riders here, and just hope you enjoy the show. Goldburn and Kawasaki helped me with this ride, and I'm just happy to be out front and talking to you guys tonight.
Everything seems to be going well. What do you think of the track? A few different lines starting to come up?
Yeah, the track's in really good shape. The wind and sun today, it was incredibly dry, dust everywhere. They did a really good job watering. There's hardly any dust on the track, and seems to be lines developing.
Confident of tonight? 20 laps is a long way around this big circuit. Are you confident?
I feel good. I know that your champion, Craig Deck, he looks real smooth and confident. He should win this thing hands down. I hope to do well. Finish, maybe give him a run, but it doesn't look likely. The guy's really fast and smooth, and you're fortunate to have him right in front of you.
Okay, we wish you all the best, guys. Love him or hate him, you have to respect him. Put your hands together, Dennis Hawthorn.
This is the 125cc non-qualifier. Well, the boys that just missed out on making tonight's final get a run. Quite a strong field, to be honest. Guys like Michael Matthews, Peter Nelson, Lee Morris, a hard charger, Jamie Stanton, Danny Phillips, Craig Holman on 63, and Nick Sullivan. All quite quick when it comes to the Supercross events. We trust you're enjoying the program. Plenty more coming your way, but right now it's 125 non-qualified time. A duration of 8 laps, few of the unlucky riders left at the gates, and it is Craig Holman aboard the Suzuki bike number 63 with the initial lead. Nicky Sullivan on bike 79 aboard the Honda starting to make his challenge as they both hit the air simultaneously down the main straightaway, side by side over the Peter Jackson tabletop. Nick Sullivan, Craig Holman, and bike number 91, Michael Matthews, all doing it first, second and third. And Sullivan quite often ends up in the non-qualifiers. Doesn't have the best of luck in the heat races, but manages to make a good fist of it a little bit later on in the program. Nick Sullivan is your race leader, bike 79. Michael Matthews, Craig Holman, bike 57 follows. He's aboard, of course, the Honda, and that is Lee Morris. Riders evenly spread. No major dramas at the moment, but you never know what is in store on a Supercross track. You've seen some of the professionals throw it away tonight as Matthews goes on the inside of Sullivan. Sullivan tries to fight back and ends up on the wrong side of the bike. He's back up and okay, and we'll see how he gets through the field. We'll monitor his progress. In the meantime, Michael Matthews and Craig Holman have things their own way out front. There is Sullivan, our fallen rider, going into that sharp left-hander, and the stutter jumps are really separating the best from the rest tonight here at Fraser Park. Another rider down. You won't believe who it is. Yes, it is Nick Sullivan. Nick Sullivan on bike number 79. That's 2 crashes in this race. Will be going for the hat-trick with 3 laps remaining. As Michael Matthews, doing it for Gus Lou Motorcycles aboard the Suzuki, leads them down to start straight away. When they cross the tabletop, it'll be half race distance, and Matthews and Holman have built up a great lead over our third place rider. My eyes aren't real good, but it looks like it could be 99. Michael Baxter on the Kawasaki, it in fact is. So it's Suzuki, Kawasaki. 1, 2, 3. 2 racing laps remaining, and the race leader is Michael Matthews. Looking good on the Suzuki out front over the stutter jumps and tackling them beautifully, having no problems whatsoever. Craig Holman, on the other hand, not adjusting well. Number 99, who I said was in third position, is Michael Baxter. Baxter starting to make a bit of ground on our second place rider, Craig Holman. It is, though, Michael Matthews with about 1.5 racing laps to go in this, the 125 A, B and C. Great non-qualified. This is, of course, a combination of events 9 and 10 on your official Peter Jackson Supercross Masters program. Here's the race leader, 1 lap to go, says Graham Stewart, our main man on the infield. Craig Holman and Michael Baxter holding down second and third. And trying to find sight of Nick Sullivan, and here he comes, heading towards the tabletop on the red Honda, bike number 79. There goes Sullivan. He's had 2 falls so far in this non-qualifier. Up front, though, it is still Michael Matthews doing nicely. As I said, the non-qualifiers, the boys who didn't quite make it through to tonight's main event. So their second run for the night is the non-qualifier. Matthews down the starting straightaway, looking nice and sharp. 181, almost comes a cropper, scares the flag marshals. But here comes Matthews, 91. He was challenged at the start of the race, but has done extremely well. And great ride for bike number 91, Michael Matthews, to take the win. 63 and 99, almost neck and neck for second and third, Craig Holman, and 99, Michael Baxter. So there it is, folks. 125 A, B and C non-qualifier. That was a duration of 4 laps. There is Nick Sullivan, 2-time soil sampler, here tonight in the non-qualifier.
Another one just inside the official entrance to the Speedway, so 3 convenient locations. If you've got a kid's birthday coming up. Kawasaki, this is the Kamikaze 5-lapper for the C-grade trophy. Oh! David Day, I think it was, who bit the dust with the 6-bike over David Day. Please go the other direction. I hope Dave's okay. Okay, 169 will take over the lead. That's Michael Kinner. Well, Michael Kinner goes down. Oh, Michael's in a bit of shit down there. Let me tell you, he went straight out between the post and came back in almost all three. However, they've all started to settle down now. At least they're up right through this section of the racetrack as we go back through the infield. 58 runs in second spot, and that of course is Ben Roebuck. Okay, so we're getting some air going through the infield section. Roebuck getting a little closer to the race leader as he makes the left-hander, goes back out onto the starting straight again. They've all managed to pick themselves up, particularly the guy that dropped in front of the pack over the first jump. Okay, here comes our race leader down towards the Peter Jackson tabletop. Yeah, he's comfortably over there. 169, in fact, is your rider, and that's Michael Kinner. So Michael Kinner away, Roebuck still runs in second. It's pretty hot there for third and fourth. We're just following the form of these guys over the tabletop. And as we said, the C-graders, so give them an opportunity at least a chance to hone their skills. Alrighty, the guys, some of them show a bit of style there. 86 on us getting plenty there going through. That was Jason McKay. He looks certainly more comfortable than the 11 in front of him. Okay. They come back through the infield once again. So the leader skips away, Michael Kinner, going down the back straight away. And just look at the gap. Ben Roebuck actually is having a little strife trying to control and hold back. A challenge here for second. 169 again over the top, Michael Kinner. 58 still running in second spot, of course. That's Roebuck, and right behind him, 47, putting the pressure on well and truly. And that, of course, is Michael Fallens. Well, Michael hasn't fallen as yet, but he goes in on the inside, but just good acceleration. They're pretty close together as they come up through the stutters. So that scrap between Roebuck and Fallens for third place continues. Oh! Michael Fallens, I think it was Ben Roebuck actually, who came an absolute cropper. I've got a feeling the leader went at the same time over there. Let's wait and see. But if Michael Kinner has got out, yes he has, he's still leading this one. A couple of sick and sore boys who have really landed very, very awkwardly. So that's what the C-grade is about, to try and get these guys to hone their skills, work out where to pass in traffic, and they, of course, will get better at it. Okay, here comes our race leader now, I think. Still Michael Kinner, the race leader on 69.
Kinner on the centre of the circuit at the moment, aboard the CR. Big 250 machine doing wonders there for Michael Kinner. Second place looks to be bike number 41. Warren was Ruta. So good old Wazza in there on bike number 41, chasing our race leader, 169, Michael Kinner. As Mike mentioned earlier, the C-grade could be called the Kamikaze. They could call it the Kamikaze 5-lapper for sure. In the meantime, the last lap board goes out to Michael Kinner on bike number 169. You've got to keep your eye out at all times when the C-graders are out on the track. Usually a little bit of fun. Few thrills and spills at the track. As he also stated earlier, it's a time to hone in the skills for some of the more inexperienced riders. In the meantime, though, it is 169, centre of the circuit now. His name is Michael Kinner, the young 18-year-old. Aboard the Honda and looking quite confident, has built up a great lead over our second place rider, Warren. Warren Wazuta. Wazuta in there in second place, but the race leader and the race win is definitely tied up with 169. Michael Kinner doing it for K&W Motorcycles. Here he is, folks. C-grade trophy will go to Michael Kinner on bike number 169. Second place will be 41, Darren Wazuta. And it looks like, and we'll call it provisional, Warren Cash on the Kawasaki 172 to come in third. Event brought to you by Yokohama.
They're about to compete in the 80cc Junior 14 and 15-year-old sprint final. Okay, they're off and going on the 80s. Wow, they're getting into it right away. Look like Grant getting up there smartly and amongst them. Just look at the way some of these youngsters really take the jumps. Whew, and miss them. Here they come onto the straight, Andy.
And it is again Paul Grant, bike number 44 on the Suzuki. Doing it nicely out in the lead. The hard charger is bike number 12, Ian Cunningham. Cunningham on the inside. Keep in mind, folks, these are 14 and 15-year-olds on the little 80cc's. Cunningham followed by Grant. Back in third position is bike number 40, Sammy Jones. And hard pressing Jones at the moment is Robbie Wilson on another Suzuki. The Suzuki's dominating here tonight. Out in the lead, though, it is Ian Cunningham on 12. And Cunningham is developing into one big boy. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, too. And look at the size. He really is dwarfing that little 80cc machine. Both these two guys, Ian Cunningham and Paul Grant, due to step up into the seniors within the next 9 to 10 months. And should provide some of the older boys with a bit of a scare. Still doing it out front nicely. Jamie Greenwood's a bit further back in the pack on bike number 98. There's Jamie on the Kawasaki. Doing it for Carrera, Dunlop, and of course Shell Australia. It's back there in fifth place, Ian Cunningham, and Paul Grant is dictating turns out front at the moment. Really giving the 80s a real workout over a very tricky Fraser Park Supercross layout. Five-lap duration. We've got about 3.5 remaining as Cunningham and Grant still go at it. And look at the lead, ladies and gentlemen. You see the two race leaders coming past the main grandstand at the moment, and look how far back the battle for third is. A long way. It just shows you how classy these two guys are out front. Doing it all right is Ian Cunningham on 12 and Paul Grant. Cunningham goes straight. Grant unfortunately can't capitalise on it and still remains in second position. Here comes Grant starting to make a hard charge at the race leader. Race leader Ian Cunningham, and Cunningham doing it for Golden Kawasaki, Midnight Racing Apparel and Shell. You saw the hand of Cunningham go off halfway through the air over the double jumps there, taking one of the many tear-offs they have off his goggles to enable him to have full clear vision. It is Cunningham and Grant, though, still bolting away with this one. And bolting is the correct term. They come up over the finish line, the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters tabletop with 2 laps remaining. Grant's on the inside, Cunningham's on the outside, and they're coming up to some slower traffic. Cunningham quickly thwarts Grant's passing manoeuvre, and these two guys are going at it hammer and tong. Few of the slow riders starting to be lapped. That's 20 and 17, Brad Nash and Brad O'Connell. And here comes Grant on the inside, Cunningham on the outside, about 1.5 remaining. And some sensational riding out there by the young 15-year-olds. Believe me, it looks nice and easy from our vantage point in the grandstand, folks. But once you get out there and actually try some of the big jumps, and all the ruts and grooves in the track, it gets pretty nasty. Cunningham and Grant, 1 lap to go, and this is really a battle between Suzuki and Kawasaki. Kawasaki's leading at the moment as another rider comes down, and Grant again on the inside, and this is going to go down to the wire, race fans, as Cunningham and Grant have pulled away a huge gap on bike number 45. Robbie Wilson, and Wilson is in 3rd position at the moment and is half a lap behind the race leaders. Grant and Cunningham, though, still out front, and Grant is getting closer. He's got about half a racing lap to do what he has to do, and Grant and Cunningham both usually up there on the finishing dais and going at it like you've never seen before.
Grant and Cunningham, really right over. We've got to have a close finish for this one. Holy what? He's coming on like gangbusters here on the outside and takes the lead. What a finish coming up for this one as they straighten up Kenny Bird. Yes, he is in fact going to do. Oh, boy. 44, bring it on home. Oh, boy. Busted and is slightly disgusted. Okay, Paul Grant does it. Better put your hands together for him. And also Ian Cunningham on number 12, best of mates. They had a rip snorter at an ABCC 14 and 15-year-old final. Did they what? It was two-man war out there, and it really took right to the last sprint to the checkered flag before the whole thing changed. As you can see, some of the other guys are still finishing. These two have almost tailed off, shaking hands and waiting for the trophy presentation.
Thanks a lot, Mike. That one certainly went down to the wire, folks. 3rd place, we're only going to make it quick, but put your hands together for Robbie Wilson on bike 45. Going to make this one quick. 2nd place, and he held on to it for just so long. Put your hands together on the Kawasaki, Ian Cunningham. And 1st place, if I can get the microphone over here, what a ride, you all have to agree. Put your hands together, Paul Grant. There we go, now we can get the microphone here. There we go, congratulations, Paulie, great ride. Ian had it on you for most of the thing, but you got back just.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to give up at all. Ian had a good start and he passed me just here. But anyway, I wasn't going to let him get away.
Mate, you've had some great dices with him over the last couple of weeks, but this one's yours.
Yeah, well, good ride to Ian anyway. He should have won it, but had a bit of bad luck over there. I'd like to give a special thanks to George Gallis. He's really great, helping me out all night. Arrow helmets, Courier goggles, Dunlop tyres, Mad clothing, Suzuki Australia, and Bob Campbell motorcycles. Thanks a lot.
There we go, folks. Please put your hands together. The future of Australian motocross, and what a demonstration.
Eddie Atkins taking in Supercross Masters, 20 years of age. Okay, last chance qualifier. You miss this and you don't get a second chance. Bonsai first turn. Pow. Okay, the whole race to get over there. You just know that something's about to happen. The pressure is well and truly on as they come down the front straightaway. Back to Bren, event number 13. As I said, the Peter Jackson Supercross Masters, the non-qualifier, not the last chance qualifier. So these are the guys who can't transfer any further. And Rosie picking up, coming back down through the infield. Always produces plenty of close activity, because the pressure for them is off. They're just trying to win. It's the non-qualifiers: Brad Lowe, Greg Scully, Ron Baxter, Matt Bingley, Jeff Bailey, Phil Sargent, Bryce Greenwood, Sean Andrews, Michael Jones, Peter Marlin, Shane Weston and Phil Barton. 71 there, getting around the outside. And that, of course, is Greg Scully. So Greg goes through to take over the lead in this non-qualifiers race, but I tell you what, boy joined the second spot there, was prepared to argue about it. They're fairly close together. One gets a little sideways, one stalls in the turn.
Bike number 71 leading them is Greg Skelly out there on the Yamaha. Doing it nicely. This is the non-qualifiers for the 250s. Boys that didn't quite make it through to tonight's final, give them a second run. As Mike said earlier, time to hone in the skills. Everyone fairly even out there on the track at the moment. And of course the non-qualifiers quite often prove to be a little bit of entertainment for some of the crowd. A lot of thrills and spills. And if I was a betting man, or a betting boy, I'd be pretty confident of at least someone doing a little bit of soil sampling before the end of the race. So we'll see how it hones out, but it still is 71, Greg Skelly on the Yamaha out front. Doing it nicely, the challenge is coming from bike number 50. 50 is Bryce Greenwood, he's aboard the Honda, coming up quite quickly on Skelly, the race leader, as they head infield. High flying on the infield, plenty of lights in a great arena here at Fraser Park. You're usually seeing the cars, occasionally the bikes round the outside track. Once a year it gets transformed into a mountainous Supercross track. And here are the race leaders doing nicely right over together. Skelly and bike number 50, Bryce Greenwood. Oh, and there's Greenwood. Oh, and he's done the big up and under. And I think we're right about one of those spills. He's having a few problems trying to get back onto the bike. And the stutter jump's proving to be quite a handful for some of the more inexperienced riders. Not sure what Greenwood thought he was doing there for a while. He looked like a bit of a gymnast. A few cartwheels, a few tumbles. Nevertheless, he got back up and he's all right. He's still in second position. A long way out in the lead, though, is 71 Greg Skelly. Greg Skelly is still the race leader. Last lap board. Okay, Greg, don't do anything wrong. Okay, so Greg Skelly takes off on his last lap. A little more adventurous as he heads down over the stutters. Bryce Greenwood still runs there in second after coming a bit of a guts of the last time down through there. The rest of it I think is going to change. Oh dear, no, that was the battle for the fourth. Watch out for the guy in third. He's taking all the women home. Oh, holy moly. Should some of these set of some of the Iraqi missiles. Okay, still looking for our race leader. Lightning Greg Skelly down the back straight. Come on, Greg. Running out of darkness. So Greg Skelly comes in to finish it off with the checkered flag. Well, at least he hasn't put a foot wrong. Don't prove me incorrect. Here he goes. He's just lining all this up now for the run to the checkered flag. Greg Skelly, ladies and gentlemen, wins the non-qualifiers. These are the guys that take the early shower. 50 across the line there for second. And across the line for third, 251. And that, of course, was Jeff Barley. Transfer to the main tonight. So you can imagine what the first turn's going to be like. Okay, out they go. Pedal to the metal. Caution to the end. As they head down to the bottom turn, I think it was Stu Bennett that actually got the whole shot. And we'll come onto the front straightaway on the Suzuki leading it. So Stu Bennett looking pretty sharp out there. He takes the triples in one shot over the tabletop. It's getting
pretty close back behind him though, 33 getting up with Gavin Sampson. Sampson's on the outside though as they go down the bottom turn, and now gets the run into the turn. So Gavin Sampson and Stu Bennett hold the transfer spots at the moment. The guy running in third there went from inside to outside. That was David Day. So he's moving up, going to put some pressure on Sampson now. Stu Bennett leads them down through the infield past the wreck air sign.
Stu Bennett unlucky not to qualify, broke a chain in his heat race, therefore having to go the painful way for all of us through the last chance qualifier. Bennett high flying down, back of the pack, 33 in there in second is Gavin Sampson, and 75, David Day in there in third. Battle for third is on between 22. 22, our rider is Stephen Hunter. He's battling David Day for some of the minor placings. In the meantime, Hollywood Stu Bennett out there leading, doing it nicely aboard the RM Suzuki. Brand new bike for Stewie. Debut only 2 weeks ago, a bit over 2 weeks actually, at Penrith. So only a few rides on the new bike, but enjoying it. Very smooth and very quick as the brand new Suzuki. Down the main straightaway he comes. He's the race leader. 3 laps to go now. High flying second place is Sanson on 33, and Stephen Hunter, the dark horse in this one, on bike number 22, 169. Michael Kinner followed by 301, 36. And David Day on 75. Bennett, though, quite a commanding lead over the rest of the pack. The battle really is on for second. That's the danger spot. First 2 will transfer into tonight's final. What a final it should be. 20 laps around this man-made torture track. A big one in store for the 250 boys. The Grade 1-2 final coming up, as well as some of the junior riders. Stewie Bennett looking nice. Down the back straight, coming down over the triple jumps, and does triple them over the Peter Jackson finish line tabletop.
Stewie Bennett is the man at the moment in the Suzuki, and he looks assured of taking the transfer spot. Going down to the bottom corner, as Andrew said, a little unlucky earlier tonight. Broke a chain in the semi. Third place guy's gone down like a barrel of spuds. But Stewie Bennett with the Suzuki now operating properly, the chain intact, and as you can see, he is running away with this one. If he's able to catch a breath before the 250 final tonight, he could be well and truly a guy to watch. Then again, he's already in the 125 final, so he's got plenty of racing to do. He probably will be the tightest guy around here, if nothing else. So Stewie Bennett gets away. Here he is, coming down the front straight away. Last lap board for the Suzuki rider. Plenty of style, bike looks great, and he has it well and truly under control. 33 still runs in second spot as they go down the front straight. Gavin Sampson. Back behind him, of course, on 22, it's Stephen Hunter. They've opened a pretty fair gap up over the next batch of riders. They're having their own little dice. 301 down the outside is Mike Shearer. Further back then to number 36 is Johnny Ashby. Then back behind him, 75 getting plenty of style, but unfortunately not too much speed. So Stewie got it back through the infield section of the racetrack. The last chance qualifier goes to the U-turn of the Peter Jackson starting strip again. Up into the top beat, so he's screwed out well and truly. He's going to bring it on into the checkered flag, so there are 2 transfer spots tonight. No doubt about one of them. Here he comes down the front straight away now. He'll take the checkered flag. Ford Suzuki, Stewie Bennett. Well done, Stewie. No hand as he goes across the line. And it looks like in for second. Oh! 33 takes second, and 22. Stephen Hunter is running third. He really did come a cropper. He was by himself. So, bad luck there for Stu Bennett takes the transfer spot. I'll have to read who takes the second spot. It's amazing, some of these guys who finish down the back of the field in the last chance qualifiers and then trying to get all the air they can just to take the checkered flag. Oh, as you could see. I just made a remark a moment ago. I just hope that they can move Stephen pretty shortly, or we'll have 3 pals to go to the intensive care room with him. The Abbott's Transport Junior 12 and 13-year-olds. Now, if you thought the 14 and 15s, look at these kids, 12 and 13. Boy, do they get into it. Daniel Primer, one to watch as he comes through the bend with Cooper Millard and also Craig Anderson. Craig, look at that! 12 and 13-year-olds with all the skills.
Little Anderson, Craig Anderson, one of the real wild guys on the ADCC circuit. One rider down there looks like young Danny Ham on the Suzuki 111. Not too pleased with anything, but this young guy out in the lead, folks, is one of the most radical but intense young blokes that I have ever met. Only once in a while does a young guy come along and you can predict him as a future superstar. And if you were going to predict anyone, it would be this young bloke on 63 riding the Honda. And what a sensational young rider he is. Bike number 32 in there in second position is Daniel Primer. Primer looking nice. He's aboard the Honda, yes, he certainly is. So it's Honda 1-2. This is a 5-lap journey, 4 remaining. And it's almost coming off. Managed to get the feet off the pegs and quickly back on. Third place is bike number 43, Benny Jones. And I've put the curse on Jones. Jones has gone down and almost sideswiped by one of the Kawasaki riders. Danny Ham's back to his very little feet and motoring along. Only tiny as Danny Ham, jumping at the tabletop in 1 bound, and you don't see all of the 250s or 125s do that. Look at Anderson, he is a radical little guy and a real showman. Doesn't mind getting the front wheel off the air, doing a mono every so often. A little cross up here there. Plenty of style out front. He knows when to take life and racing seriously though as he comes down the main straightaway. Doing the double nicely. Here he goes. He'll probably do a little bit of a flick. No, he doesn't. He wants to get down to business. Get a nice gap on Primer. And these two really bolting away from the rest of the field. Bike 2, 2, 3. Aaron Schwebel. Schwebel doing it nicely back in the pack. He's in third, but there's a lot of hard charges behind him as Anderson and Primer looks set to take this 12-13 ADCC final out and doing it in nice style.
Craig Anderson on 63 is still your leader and doing it ever so comfortably. Boy, doesn't he like a bit of air. So Anderson sweeps it around again. 5 laps a long way for these little mites, let me tell you. Only 12 and 13. Here he comes again. Wow. Getting plenty of air as he goes over there on 83. Still running back there in second spot is Daniel Primer on 32. Good scrap developing for third though now, as these guys come down the front straight. There's 3 of them in this one, with still a chance. 43, he's probably got higher than anyone else out there tonight. And that of course is Benny Jones. So Jones through into third at this stage. No stopping the little mite out in front there as he gets well and truly away from the rest of the field. Craig Anderson going back through the infield again. Those 2 biggies he takes with one little swoop, and he's taken the triple and the tabletop in one swoop as well. So they are hard at it out there. I'll get the last lap board next time around for our race leader. He must be exhausted. 5 laps is a long way for these little guys on the ADCCs. Last lap board coming out now. Woo. Still up. as he went across the line, but he still looks pretty sharp. Craig Anderson, 63, riding for Woodies and Weil, Booth and Shell TRT on the Honda. We'll come back through the infield section again. Just taking his time. Moses on his last lap. Now he'll accelerate. If he gets a shot at it, takes one of the slower guys and just skips over the tops of those jumps into the right-hander past Wrecker and down back through the crisscross in the infield. We'll take these two jumps on the back straight away with consummate ease. Now takes it down into the left-hander. So he's on with less than half a lap to go now. And looking pretty sharp too. Craig Anderson on the Honda. Been an outstanding performance from this young guy, coming up on the outside, putting a lap on some guys at the finish. He's going to pick it up as he comes on into the checkered flag. Put your hands together. Here is a good with a lot of class. Craig Anderson. Oh, what a way to finish it. So Craig Anderson picks up the win in the 12 and 13-year-old category. Still going on for second. Right out of 32, just on the landing pad, that was Daniel Primer. And waiting on for third to come on in now on plate number 43, and that of course was Ben Jones. That's in fact how they finished.
Third place, as I said, time restrictions. We'll make it quick. Put your hands together for Benny Jones. Second place, and another great ride, and he's been up here collecting a few trophies off me, Daniel Primer. And first place, I said he was a fast rider, I said he was a larrikin over the jumps, and he proved me right on both accounts. The wildest young dude you will ever see, Mr. Craig Anderson. Well done, Ando. As you were going on, I was saying this guy knows how to go quick. And I said you're a bit of a show-off as well. You went over and gave us the one-hander, but congratulations, another good win.
Thanks. It's good that it didn't rain tonight. Last week it rained at Newcastle, and I'd just like to thank Daniel and Ben for riding good, and the track was good, and Barry Ashenhurst from Trail and Track for helping me all out through the year, and me mum and dad for bringing me here, and Gary Hibbert for helping me, and Woody's Motorcycles Wild, TRT, Bieffy, Shell, and Alpine Star, and everyone for coming. Thanks.
There we go, folks. The three place getters. He mentioned all the sponsors. He even thanked you guys. Put your hands together.
179 is Max Twig. On 44 it's David Ban, 89 Chris Haggett, 119 Enos Redistow. Silverbeck, of course it is. Hugh McGoy, Mannequin Skeleton Butcher, but that's it. And boy, 125 final. Who's it going to be? Put it up on the inside. Is it a Kirkman? They are side by side. To cover back there at the top of that canyon jump. But as they lead him down the front straightaway, I think you'll find it's Mark Kirkman. Kirkman will lead him away. Yes, he does. Stewie Bennett back there in second spot. And Cotton Taylor is right back behind them as they swing through the bottom turn. There you have the creme de la creme at the 125 class. And the whole idea is to get the hell away from the field and set up a big lead. And that's exactly what the man in front on the Suzuki is doing. Number 14, Mark Kirkman will lead him back through the infield. Stewie Bennett runs there in second. Cameron Taylor is the next rider through past the wrecker and now down through the infield. Boy, I tell you, he's established what you'd call a handy break. And there's a bit of action going on deep in the field as well. Whether or not Stu Barrett can pull back the race leader Mark Kirkman, only time will tell. And Cameron Taylor about a similar distance back there to third. Okay, Woody got almost off the track that time, but he picked it up nicely on the Suzuki. Suzuki's 1 and 2. Honda back there in third spot at the moment as they go back down through the infield.
And as it was last week in Newcastle, two Suzukis, pardon me, out front, and over the stutter jumps both Kirkman and Bennett are sensational. Cameron Taylor, an unknown commodity perhaps here at Fraser Park in there in third, and Stan the man, the main man, in there in fourth position. Don't be surprised if Bergen makes his way up into the top 3 places. Snedden's also back there on the fringe of the top guys with bike number 18 also in there. Paulie Timmins, but the race leader coming round past the main grandstand, and the gap is closing between first and second. Mark Kirkman and Stuart Bennett on bike number 27. And as predicted, Stan the Man moves up into third. And this is an 8-lap journey. We have 6 remaining, and that will suit Stan Bergen, one of the fittest riders on the circuit. As Stan, as I said earlier, has improved 150% over the last 12 months. Will certainly be giving Kirkman and Bennett a big push along with about 5.5 laps remaining. Kirkman surges for some air down over the triples. The 125 boys with the front runners anyway electing not to go for the triple, sticking with the double. Kirkman, Bergen as the readout. They come back down the main straightaway. Kirkman going very wide on the corner to get the run into the straight, and these first 3 guys are closing up a lot. Bergen losing a little bit of ground there because he's not doing the triple, he's doing the double. And over the studded jumps, here comes Stan the Man.
I still like the look of Stewie Bennett at this stage. As they come back through the infield section, Mark Kirkman's there, but Bennett was getting a little bit closer to him that time. Just as I said that, the leader bolts away again, Mark Kirkman. They haven't come up into any lap traffic at the moment. That could be the downfall, or it could in fact close them up just a little bit. Both are at the straightaway section. Down to the left-hander of Peter Jackson, out of there comfortably, and now down the starting straight again. That's the only dice that we're looking at. It's the one up front to see whether or not Stewie Bennett can fall in Mark Kirkman, or whether Stan Bergen can actually get in touch with the pair of them. They're putting a couple of lap bikes here between them. Stewie Bennett coming up on 49 for the lap before the next left-hander. He's able to do that. Now swing to the outside. Now you'll notice the difference of what a couple of lap bikes will make to a rider. In fact, our leader got a way out of that one, Mark Kirkman. That actually worked well and truly into his hand. Stewie Bennett still sits back behind him. Stan the Man, Bergen, still there in third. Bought the lap jump just a little bit, and he's got a couple of lap bikes to deal with. Now, notice how tight it's getting up at the front of the field. Mark Kirkman on 14, Stewie Bennett on 27, both of them on Suzuki's. Put back behind them is Stan Bergen on 13. Yes, definitely getting tighter up the front of the field. The 125 final here tonight at Fraser Park. They come back onto the finishing straight again. Holding the inside line is Mark Kirkman, but Stewie Bennett slowly but surely edging him back. And then back behind them is Stan Bergen on number 13. Now, see whether or not Stewie Bennett can go straight by him on the outside or the inside. He sweeps underneath him. Now you find that Kirkman knows he's there. That'll hurry Kirkman along a bit. And Bennett tries to put a wheel on the inside of him. Does so till the losers out in the way they approach the next 2 jumps. Into the right-hander with Wecker. Very, very tight in the 125 final. 2-way dogfight going on. Mark Kirkman on the Suzuki and Bennett right behind him. They'll have the last lap board the next time around. Just look at the lap traffic running into it. This is dramatic stuff. Bennett goes to the outside and passes Kirkman. They'll pass that board maybe this time and the next time as they come up the start finishing straight. And in fact it was Bennett who got back on racing terms again. He's got all the bikes to pass down there. Mark Kirkman sits back off them a bit just to make sure that nothing happens. And Stan Bergen is back behind them as the yellow goes out. And so quick can happen. One got caught up back behind them. Stewie and 14 going up there on the inside. So Kirkman still able to keep it in front. And it looks like Stan the Man has gone through for second spot. And up there in third is Stewie Bennett. So the 2 of them involved in that incident over the starter jumps with the lap riders. That takes the pressure off Mark Kirkman at this stage of the race, or does it? Can Bergen get up and pass him in the closing stages of the race? If anything, Mark Kirkman has been bobbling just a little bit. He'll take the last lap board this time around. So 1 lap to go. Here comes the man who's leading, but look at the guy who's running second, closing on him all the time, Stan Bergen. Bergen on break number 13, race leader is Kirkman on number 14 as they go down the front straightaway. Into the bottom corner. Can he do it? Elbow to elbow, helter, skelter, what a play, last lap! Is he in front? Yes, he is! one went right up on there on the wall. We'll check that out for you later. Look at this Titanic duel going. The checkered flag is ready. Last corner is coming up. Who's it going to be? They go wide, one up on the inside. Oh, and he's got it! 14 gets up on the approach to the flag, Mark Kirkman. Oh, dude, Stewie Bennett picks up second. And how disappointing for Stan Bergen. He bobbled that last jump. I'd say it's knocked the wind out of his sails no end. He was giving it absolutely everything. The rest of the field going past now. And Stan Bergen, the rider, coming down in the last corner.
Okay, it's all right down here. The sight's not too bad. We've got the Raiderettes, we've got the Peter Jackson girls. We've also got our third place rider, Lucky, I must say so, but put your hands together, Cameron Taylor. Cam, well done, mate. Stan was unlucky to fall there, but his bad fortune's your good first, and congratulations.
Yep, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's the way it goes, I suppose.
Happy with the track and the bike? Everything was working well?
Yeah, the track's good. It's very demanding. And the bike is working good, so it's good.
These two guys just a little bit quick. They've been dominating all over. Congratulations anyway. Second place and a great ride. Way down the back here. Put your hands together, Stewie Bennett. This is fun trying to squish in between these three smelly blokes. But anyway, Stewie, congratulations, mate. Another Suzuki-dominated 125 race.
Yeah, it's looking that way, and it's real good.
You're quite happy on the RM. Everything working well?
Yeah, except for my ankle, but apart from everything else, the bike is absolutely superb. It's really good.
Enjoying the racing? You were a kid motocross many a year ago, coming back into it, still enjoying?
Yeah, probably enjoying it more so now.
Sponsors, I'm quite sure a few out there you'd like to thank.
Yeah, for sure. Valvoline Oils, I thank them very much. West Oil Petroleum, back in Orange. Mongrel Riding Gear, and Max Colley Motorcycles in Orange for selling me such a U-Butte motorcycle.
Okay, there we go, Stewie Bennett. And first place, I've done this quite a few times. Put your hands together for Mark Kirkman. There they are, the Mark Kirkman fan club there, always hanging around. Congratulations, Marcus. Another great ride, mate. You just keep pulling the big ones off.
Yeah, it was really good tonight. A bit of bad luck for Stuart and also for Stan. It all went my way. I was a bit lucky. The track was really good. It turned out really great. Thanks to all the guys that put all the hard work into it. And also, I'd just like to thank some of my sponsors, Zuki Australia, Answer Clothing, Oakley Goggles, Maximal Oils, Arrow Helmets, and also Fred and Rock McNabb, Empole, and for Mum and Dad who helped me out this meeting. Thanks a lot.
There we go. Mum and Dad even get a mention, folks. The three place getters in tonight's 125 final.
Hunting and Paul Grant, Shane Hunt, Glenn Cromie, Adam Johnson, Matthew Russo, Jamie Greenwood, Jason Palmer, Brad Nash, and Des Hanrahan. Our thanks again to Toyota Husky for their support of the juniors, 14 and 15 years. And they're racing! Look at the look of this bolt out of there. It's Paul Grant again on the Suzuki. Hasn't he looked flash tonight? He'll tuck it down as they come back onto the finishing straight now. And here he comes, taking him two at a time. Brandon in front on the Suzuki. 77, moving up smartly there as they make their way down to the bottom corner. That, of course, is Shane Hunt. So Hunt gets up into the second spot, but he's quickly challenged here on the inside. Oops, what a really short cut to save himself 150 metres. Grandpa on the Suzuki is in front, just skims across the jumps as he goes down to the right-handed wreck area, now makes his way back through that U-turn, over the jumps on the infield, and he looks sharp out there. He's put a straightaway length on them already as they go to the bottom corner. Shane Hunt still running in second, likely to be challenged inside the distance though as they go down the front straightaway. 11 making a move up on him. So it is pretty close. Looks like Ian came up on the inside on the Kawasaki, but on the front straightaway, Grant, he won't go disco dancing tonight after that jump. Okay, young Grant in front on the Suzuki, but it's getting pretty tight up here for second. In fact, it's gone through to take over second spot. Riding for Golden Kawasaki. Boy, isn't Golden Kawasaki having a great night here tonight. Signal's been given to the riders. It's not going to hold at Bill Grant. Grant is well and truly in command of the situation as he goes through the infield section up to the right-hander. The U-turn at Ricker.
Well, Grant already won the 80cc's tonight and looking desperately for a 125 trophy to put on the mantelpiece to make it the double. And Cunningham had to settle for bridesmaid earlier on and could very well do so yet again. Grant has been on the ball for the last 3 months, nearly unbeatable, and showing his true form here tonight aboard the Suzuki. Suzuki Australia, major sponsor of Grant, and Ian Cunningham finding time to showboat around in the air over the tabletop. Over the starter jumps they go. Derek Maguire on the pit board for Paulie Grant. And Cunningham has stopped. Cunningham just plain stopped in the middle of the stutters. He's going to try and start the KX back up again, the big 125. Whether he's successful or not is a different story. He's not, and he is not happy about things at all. Moving up into second place, that would mean is number 77, Shane Hunt. And up into third, number 6, Lee T, doing it for Nova Honda. So everyone nicely spread out at the moment. Then Cunningham, unfortunately bowing out at an early stage in this one, but Paul Grant really doing a great job out front.
We couldn't quibble about that one. In fact, Grant has cleared well and truly out from them. No one can hold a candle to him at this stage of the race. 14 and 15 year final. And of course the race presented here and joined by Toyota Husky. He's still in front. Paul Grant and for Bob Campbell, Motorcycles and Suzuki Australia. Well, Bobby Campbell been very supportive of a lot of the motocross youngsters, and it's great to see this team getting the recognition it deserves. So Grant doing nicely on the Suzuki. And you can just about see the gap. Talk about gap. He's gapped them all right. He's coming up and he'll get the last lap board from Graham Stewart as he comes down the finishing straightaway now. 1 lap to go for Paul Grant. Boy, doesn't he have some style about him. Now, it's anyone's guess for second, of course. 11's picked up the pace again. But it's not going to be in the final array of things. I think 77 back too far. Not much you can do. That's Shane Hunt, but still holding down a reasonable second spot on the field. And I tend to think maybe it could be number 6 running back there in third, Lee Teague on the Nova Honda. I think that's about the end of it. Taking the last lap board. They only have less than half a lap to go. And Paul Grant, the 14 and 15 year final, sponsored by Toyota Husky. With a feeling over the rider. He works the back straight away now. Graham Stewart gets in a bit of practice here on the checkered flag. They're coming up to the final corner. And a kid with a ton of potential for the future of Supercross in this country. Across the finishing line, taking the 14 and 15 year final for Toyota Husky. It's Paul Grant, ladies and gentlemen, on the Suzuki. He gets across to pick up the win tonight. Well back for second spot. As we wait for the riders to come across the line. And ready on him now on plate number 77. Shane Hunt getting across there and right behind him on 11, obviously. 133 finishing it off. And of course, rounding out Lee Teague, who I think will probably pick a third up out of that one.
The 14, 15-year-old 125's third place, Lee Teague. Congratulations, Lee. Great ride. These two guys just a bit more experienced and quicker on the night.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, they're good riders and had a good night, I did.
Okay, we'll make it short and sweet. We'll get on to the big one, but congratulations. Second place, bike number 77 for you, Yamaha supporters, Shane Hunt. Well, and Shane, a great ride, the lone Yamaha up here, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to thank Brian Phillips Motorcycles at Katoomba. And I'd like to thank my dad for bringing me here. This is one of the best trucks I've ever ridden. I'd like to thank all the people who built it, thanks.
Okay, Shane Hunt, And first place, we've already had him up here once tonight, and this is how talented the young guy is. Paul Grant first tonight in the 14-15 final. Grady, another big one, mate. Congratulations, second time around.
Hey, it's the first time I've won 2 in one night. It feels pretty good.
Feeling pretty confident. When do you go up to the seniors, mate?
Going to the seniors in May.
And looking forward to it or not looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
Teach the few of the old guys some lessons. Well, congratulations. There are 3 place getters in the 14-15 1-2-5 final. We'll get on to the 250 final right away.
13, Stan the Man Bergen. On 40, Mark Kirkman. On 41, it's Ben Linskog. 45, Greg Timmins. 25, Tony Elliott. On 21, Paul Roman. 49, Glenn McDonald. On 11, Cameron Taylor. 37, Alistair Maxwell. And 8, Glenn Bell. That's the Baroda's provocative. Into the first turn, who's it going to be? It's Fast 31. He takes the fight up, but Craig Dack is going with him as well. They come down the front straight. Come on, stand up, cheer these guys. They take on the Yankees. It's Fred Doran up on the outside. Glenn Bell's got off a magical start. Dennis Hawthorne of the United States runs there in third spot. Craig Dack also coming back through the pack. And of course we've had a whole bunch of them come down up there in the top corner. Okay, they're back through the infield, Fast 31. The Golden Kawasaki doing it very, very nicely. Troy Doran looking good out there. Keep an eye on Craig Dack. Dack's coming up there running fourth spot at the moment. And the American rider, Dennis Hawthorne, the long leap Texan from the Lone Star State, runs back there in third. But at the moment, it's Fast 31. Here he comes down the front straightaway. Fast 31, the man who led this race. The guy who deserved to win this race last year, but savagely had it taken off him when he spilled. So Fast 30 leads Troy Doran, Dennis Hawthorne. Look at the dice for fourth and third. It's Craig Dack and the Peter Jackson Yamaha going out after that American. Glenn Bell sits back behind them. Then further behind them, it's Dale Britton. Back through the infield, Fast 30 looking good out there. Takes the U-turn, the Peter Jackson sign, works the front straight again. Boy, is he smooth. We look at the scrap for third as Craig Dack passes Dennis Hawthorne. And back behind him, there's Glenn Bell. So there's 3 left in this race. Ben Paris making some ground too, as Dack goes out after the American. Troy Doran from Victoria runs there in second. Then it's Dennis Hawthorne. Back behind them is Ben Bell. Back through the infield section, and look at Dack and Troy Doran. It's Dack in a second. Come on, let's get behind him as he goes after the Yankee. Fast 31 is the leader, but it's the local boy. Going back after him, Craig Dack on the Peter Jackson Yamaha. The U-turn, it's the sign. Who's got the acceleration? At the moment, it's Fast 30. They're closing up behind Craig Dack. Look at the scrap for third. This is one hell of a final. Probably the best race of the series so far, as Dack comes up on the back of Fast 31. Nose to toe. Trying to sort out the jumps as they take the left over. Okay, Ryan elects the inside. Dack tries to find a room down there. There was a fallen rider. Dennis Hawthorne coming back around the outside again. He's really keeping the pressure on Troy Doran. So Dennis Hawthorne regains third. Back behind them, it's Glenn Bell. Fabulous out here in front as Dack goes through on the inside. Can he make, as they swing through the turn and now make their way? Fast 31. It's getting tight for second, third, and fourth. Second, third, fourth, and here comes Glenn Bell. Keep your eye on Bell. Coming up for the battle, and it's Dack, Hawthorne, and Doran. That's where the action is. Eddie Warren's blowing this at the moment. Out front, only clean air in his sights. And Dack, Hawthorne, Doran, Bell, and Britton, along with Ben Paris, are all catching. What a race, 4 laps down and 16 to go. I dare say they won't be able to keep up this crackerjack pace for the 20 laps. The Dack is closing on Warren's centre track, and the Dack attack pulling away from the rest.
and trying to catch the best. The best at the moment is Fast Eddie. Keeping in mind these riders all have footboards, so they know exactly how far a rider is behind them. It is getting tight up front. Fast Eddie on the Kawasaki, Craig Dack on the Peter Jackson Yamaha. Troy Dawn is your next one, followed by Dennis Hawthorne. Then up on the inside comes Glenn Bell. That's the order. Bell Britain is the next one back behind them as Craig Dack goes after the American. Fast Eddie Warren. Down through the infield, trying to size somebody to run inside or outside. Back from the outside! Oh, that didn't work. Almost got off the mark. Here he comes again. Back there in third place, still riding with plate number 6 is Troy Doran. So Dack has already shown his hand. Fast Eddie Warren knows he's there. He won't be looking over his shoulder, he'll be looking at his footboards, and just look at Dack. He came out of the sky like a Scud missile. Here he walks the front straight away. Can he get back on the tail of the American boy? They come off the top turn into the main straightaway. And here's Dack! Inside! The two of them side by side. Who is it? Dack over the stutter jumps, and this is where Dack excels. And Dack into the lead, getting plenty of encouragement from the entourage on the infield, and Craig Dack, one Australia, leading this race. Expect to see some movement from the fragment shortly as Dennis Hawthorne is passed by Glenn Bell. Well, it's taken Glenn just on 13 laps to do that, but Glenn, now that he's got past him, is starting to get higher and go a little quicker. Fast Eddie Warren comes up on the plate of 35. But it's not going to make any difference to the Dack attack. He's working his way over the doubles. Now heads down through the infield section. Every lap has looked the same tonight for Craig Dack. Back there, and the U-band that brings him back through the infield. Superb victory, superb riding. Ladies and gentlemen, last lap board for Craig Dack. There'll be all concentration in this. Making sure no lap rider runs interference, because he wouldn't need to come down. In a situation like that, Eddie Warren would be just too close and could capitalise on it. Back through the infield. Now he takes two at a time. Oh, he landed awkwardly that time. And in fact, the rider who was trying to lap actually gained some ground out of that. He really did land very awkwardly there. And I think he probably felt that one back through the legs, the arms, and the elbows. Okay, let's see if we can keep us straight heading down there. Coming up through the ball, now up over this jump. Takes two here, straightens it out. Last corner, 2 victories from 3 starts. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Dack! Second will go to Detroit's Fast Eddie Warren, riding for Golden Kawasaki on plate number E. Here's Eddie Warren on the Kawasaki coming in to take second. A long way back tonight. Troy Doran still to come through the last bend. And here comes Doran now. He's going to pick up the 3rd spot. So Troy Doran picks up 3rd. Glenn Bell comes out of the last corner. He's going to pick up 4th. And the American rider, Dennis Hawthorne, will pick up 5th.
First place in tonight's Peter Jackson Supercross Masters Final, the Dack Attack, Craig Dack!
Dack, what can I say? You won everything tonight, the expression session, got up here earlier, had a chat. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It was definitely a hard race. I mean, Eddie's got the first half of the race wide, and seems like I got the second half of the race wide. So if I can get the first half wide and he gets the last half wide, well, it's going to be, I think we're going to have one hell of a race. So, but I thoroughly enjoy my racing at the moment. I'm really enjoying the new setup of the team, the Peter Jackson Yamaha team. They're also involved in this series. I'd like to thank them very much. I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out tonight. I think it was a good night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, that's about it.
Mate, I'll say quickly, the young guns are really coming up, and Troy's just an example of that. Third place in a big league like this isn't too bad.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, there's a lot of young guys out there at the moment with a lot of talent, and it definitely takes a few years to develop. And you know, these guys have definitely got enough guys like Glenn, Eddie, myself off, and I can say it's going to probably happen pretty soon. So we're just enjoying it while we can.
Okay, congratulations, Craig. Congratulations, Ed and Troy. They're your finalists and place getters in the 250 final. Back up to Mike.